Today I came live to talk about something that has been asked for me for a very long time. And basically, the question is how to distinguish between the different connections in our lifetimes. Okay. So I think in the previous podcast, when I was talking about Karmics, Soulmates, and Twin Flames, so there were at least three, four people who reminded me that I must talk about how to identify them in the beginning itself. Okay. So so as to know that when you meet these people, then you understand that who are they karmics, are they soulmates, or are they twin flames? Okay. So let me tell you that it's not possible overnight at all. Okay. And in case of the twin flame, it takes a long time. However, let's discuss at what point of time, and how can you distinguish between the three of them. And presently we are not just talking about their functions, we're talking about how to identify, how will you come to know. So it's a hands-on to understand that how will you um, know whether this person in your life is a karmic, a soulmate, or a twin flame. So let me begin by telling you that as a past life regression therapist, I've seen that most of the people we meet in our life are people who are there from our past lives. Okay, most of the people we meet, or most of the people who are there as permanent entities in our lives, are people who have been there with us in past lives. And this is something that many of my students are also curious about ever since I became a past life regression therapist. And so that's why I thought, why not make one? So let's start actually. So, first of all, let's understand that there is a soul. Okay. And so the soul has this entire thing to learn. Let's say the soul is going to a school to learn things. Okay. Like a child goes. And so when the child goes to the school, the child goes to class one, learns a few things, goes to class two, learns more number of things. So the same subjects, go on with a little more intensity, a little more depth, things like that. So the same things happen in our lives also. What we have learned in this lifetime will be magnified in the next lifetime, or it also depends on the way you have reacted. So what is karma? Man, vachan, and karma. What did you think? What did you speak? And what did you do? Man, vachan, and karma. So they decide. It's not only just like, let's say you were trying to kill someone and that person did not get killed. Okay. So does it mean that your karma is not developed because that person did not get killed? No, your karma is still developed. Okay. Because your intention was wrong. Okay. And in some of the sessions, I've seen that people are paying off karma because someone else held this. Like, this was not my case, this was one of the colleagues' case. And what happened with her was, like, she was regressing a man. And this man, in a past lifetime, so what the problem that this man had was his wife and his son were always expecting too much from him. Okay. And he always felt like, he felt short, he felt inadequate, I'm not able to perform up to their expectations. So ultimately what happened with them was that they put him into a situation where he was totally uncomfortable. Then he took the past life regression, and then he saw in the past life that the wife in this lifetime and the son in this lifetime were also, he had also met them in the previous life. In the previous life, unfortunately, without intention, his car met with an accident of another person, and he had inadvertently killed another person. Okay, it was not his intention, but it happened. So when this other person got killed, this other person's son and wife blamed him so much, and they had so much of hatred against this person that they became his wife and his son in this lifetime, to be able to balance the karma, to be able to seek revenge. Okay. So this is how things go on. If you want to understand, like, in simplest terms, before I getting into how to identify karmics, soulmates, and twin flames, if you want to understand these three concepts, you can understand, like, let's say the child goes to class one. Now when you go to class one, some of the students will become your friends. Some of the students you will not have a great connection with. Okay. Let's say then he goes to class two. Okay. So maybe some of the good friends come back into the same section, and some of the friends he thought, like, not friends, like some of the children he did not like in the class also came. This is like class 1 being one lifetime, class 2 being one lifetime, class 3 being another lifetime. So when the friends reincarnate, like with those souls with whom you had a good lifetime, you connected well, you can understand them simply as soulmates. Okay. And so the negative soulmates, or those people with whom you have spent past lifetimes, but you've not had a good time together. You've rather been enemies, or you have like made each other suffer. You've given each other pain. They reincarnate as karmics. So, and what is twin flame? Twin flame is your own soul. Okay. And that I'll talk about later when I talk about twin flames. Okay. So that is the main concept of karmics and soulmates, if you can understand. And so getting into understanding the next very, very important thing is ego. Okay. Ego is what? Ego is a false identity. Ego kind of changes. I wouldn't say totally changes, but kind of changes. Like, let's say in this lifetime, I'm a woman. So if I think my identity is like totally that of a woman, then that would be wrong, right? Because before being a woman, I'm a human being. Before being a human being, I'm a soul. But if I say I'm a woman and woman alone, and that's it, that is why I'm not going to connect with men, that is a kind of bias, okay? That's a kind of negative bias that I'm developing towards building my own personality. Then I say that I've studied English, so I'm a mother of two sons, and so I put these, you know, characteristic features and I consider them to be a part of my original self. So original self is something which does not change, or a permanent self is something which does not change, which is your soul, but you are changing through lifetimes. And whatever you think as a part of your, which defines you in this lifetime, is your ego. Like, let's say, like someone asked me once, I think 2 years ago, someone asked me that you must be so proud of, singing so well. And I, like, they initially asked that, where did you learn? And I said, I have not learned. And then they say, you must be so proud. I said, I am not proud at all, because this is something kind of a quality which is given to me in this lifetime. I have been looking for this quality for a number of lifetimes. So this is something which is being given to me by God, and then it can be taken away by God anytime. Permanent is what? Permanent is something that you can really hold on to. Okay. So you cannot hold on to anything in this temporary world. Consequently, everything that you attach yourself as your identity, I'm a TEDx speaker, or I'm, an author or a best-selling author, whatever, I'm an English teacher, that can change any day. What you understand with karmics is like, when you talk about karmics, so this is the beginning of understanding, on in different lines, how to distinguish whether the person you've met is your karmic, your soulmate, or your twin flame. So karmic will always boost your ego. Now, when I say boosting your ego, I'm not just talking about feeling more confident. When I say ego here, I'm not talking about ego in the sense that you have a lot of pride in yourself, okay? I'm talking about the fact that ego is that part of you which does not let you flow naturally. Okay. In my early childhood, I was very, very scared of like talking to people. In fact, I knew I could sing well. In fact, I'm singing from the age of 2.5 years of age, but I could not sing confidently in front of others. If no one was watching, then I might sing. Okay. Now that was like a shadow part of me. I was like, that is also a part of my ego, which was suppressing my good aspects or the golden aspects of me. I could not speak in front of people. I could not sing in front of people. And now I'm just the opposite. Because at a point of time, I underwent a spiritual awakening and I let my original self flow through me. Okay. So my original self, or the self that was given to me through my soul, that in this lifetime you hold this, and this is comparatively more permanent, were singing, speaking and writing, which was not happening previously. Okay. So what will happen with a karmic, that your ego will go down. When I say boost, that means there will be more levels of illusion which will come into your life. Okay, it can be in the positive and it can be in the negative sense. Like when you are karmic, so out of the karmics, there may be one person who really suffers. Sometimes both of them are suffering and both of them are like, against each other as well. Okay, both of the things are possible. Some of the times what happens is one is suffering and the other one is like making the other person suffer. Oppressor and oppressed. So what happens is the illusions about yourself, like I'm like this, I'm like that, whatever, good or bad, those things get a boost. You are not ready to accept that I can change. That is a karmic connection. What is a soulmate connection? Soulmate connection is a calm kind of connection. Whatever you are, you keep floating there. Twin flame is the kind of connection which is going to hit you hard and make you into what you are supposed to be in this lifetime. So twin flames, basically, if you want to understand twin flame is a part of your own soul, and you are brought in front of each other in a situation where you've already made a lot of wrong decisions. Okay. And twin flames mostly come with age gaps. Age gaps can be ranging from 5 years to 25 years to 35 years. I've literally heard people at an age gap of 32 years as well. So twin flames are the same soul, like parts of the same soul. Okay, one is representing the masculine, the other one is representing the feminine. When they meet each other, it's like a mirror that has been brought in front of them. There's high level of attraction, but it's like a mirror. Okay, so whatever wrong you are doing, your twin flame will get you to understand that here you are going wrong. And consequently, twin flames, most of the times, even though they are highly attracted to each other, they are highly repulsive also at times, in the sense that they move on to separate paths. So even though in the modern world they call twin flames as romantic couples and things like that, twin flame is actually a spiritual purpose. It's for your spiritual awakening. Okay, it can be very, very painful. Until the divine feminine, like whoever is the divine feminine, it can be a man or a woman also. Feminine, by feminine, I'm not meaning the gender. By feminine, I'm talking about the energy, whichever one is representing. So whoever is the feminine, that feminine is the one who understands this more quicker. Obviously, the masculine understands that she is someone whom I have not met ever, and I will not meet anyone like her after this. But the feminine understands that, this is a sacred connection, and there's a lot of work I need to do after this. Okay, so I need to find the peace of my mind. Twin flames are disruption. They will disrupt your present lifetime, and they will try to bring you close to your natural self, what you are supposed to be through your soul. Okay, not what you are supposed to be through the world, what the world expects out of you. So coming back to how to distinguish, now when you meet a karmic person, you will feel high level attraction, very, very high level attraction. Let me tell you, anyone who comes from your past life, like anyone whom you've met from a past life, one common feature amongst the karmic, soulmate and twin flame is that you will have a very, very high sense of familiarity. You will feel that I know this person, that kind of a thing. Okay, so when you have known each other in a close manner in a past life, you would have that sense of familiarity. I really know this person. Okay, in karmics, there's a very, very high level of attraction. And that is a romantic attraction, maybe in the beginning, or let's say, if it's not meant to be romance, maybe let's say your mother-in-law whom you've met. So the first time, you may also have this sense of feeling that she's such a nice woman, only to get this emotion totally broken into pieces little later. But with a karmic, also you have this sense of familiarity. With a karmic who was like really close karmic in your past lifetime, whom you have made them suffer or they have made you suffer, there will be high level of attraction. When it comes to the soulmates, whenever I think of any of my soulmates, and there are many soulmates, okay, and so when you meet a soulmate, maybe one of the people get attracted, but there is generally a very high sense of respect between the soulmates. Okay, you respect the other person a lot, and that's mutual. Okay, there is a sense of continuity between the soulmates. Okay, and obviously about the twin flame, in the beginning you may think that this person is like me, which eventually develops into a high level of attraction, which that you have never had before, and which you also know that you will never have after this. You cannot get attracted to anyone more than your twin flame. And when I'm talking about this, let me also come to the point that not everyone is going to meet the twin flame in this lifetime. Okay, so it's the soul's journey. The soul is going to decide that have you learned enough lessons. Okay, because let's say you are passing class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, and in certain lifetimes you meet your twin flames. Okay, and when you meet your twin flames in certain lifetimes, those are disruptive lifetimes, and there comes in this one lifetime where you're supposed to be reuniting for sure. So all the twin flames I have regressed, or when I got regressed, or when I saw my twin flame in my past lives, most of the past lives were filled with violence, dying early, a lot of difficulties. Okay, so twin flames come with a lot of lessons. Okay, which is actually very, very good for the soul. However, It needs you to come to that lifetime where you start understanding these things. Otherwise, it all seems like a nightmare only. Okay. Then, when you talk about, so I talked about the sense of familiarity also. And you talk about the general emotion. Now, I was talking about the beginning. So, in the beginning, you will have a lot of attachment for your, like when we talk about emotions, have a lot of attachment for your karmic. Now, let me define attachment versus love. Attachment is more, love is prem. Okay. So in Bhagavad Gita, they say that attachment is something that makes you falter down. Okay. Like Dronacharya was given this long speech by Lord Krishna that you don't love your child. You are only attached. You have more for your son. Okay. And so he said, no, I really love for him. I care for him. So he said that no, when you love someone, then you let them be. Okay. Because you were attached to your son, you wanted to provide him with every facility in life. Okay. You did not allow him to grow. So the basic definition, instead of getting into Sufism, like Sufism defines love as there are 7 layers or stages of reaching muhabbat, like the ultimate ishq. There's difference between prem and pyar and mohabbat and everything. Ishq is the highest level, which Bhagavad Gita talks as love or prem. So ishq is after like covering these 7 stages. First you're attracted, then you start respecting that person, then you start considering that person as God. Then whatever happens, ultimately you come to the 7th stage, which is moth, death. And that's not the literal death of lovers, that's the death of your ego. Okay. So your ego dies when you meet your twin flame. Okay. And that's only possible with the twin flame. Like the so-called real love to its biggest essence is only possible with your twin flame. That too not in the beginning, because you also have attachment only in the beginning. Okay. With the soulmate also, to quite an extent it is possible. But when you talk about twin flames, and if you've met your twin flame across years, and if you've been doing your inner work, then definitely it will come to love one day, unconditional love. Whether they come to your life or not, you still love them, you still wish the best of them, because you know that your twin flame is not someone else, your twin flame is you only, the same soul. But with the karmic, there is no sense of love at all. There is only sense of attachment. You have this feeling that I cannot live without this person. And oh my God, what will happen if this person leaves me? One of the people definitely in the karmics is always taking advantage of the other. Narcissism, cases of narcissism is high in karmics. Okay. And this was something I was talking about in my previous podcast when I was saying that how do you know the red and the green flags? So you must focus on the idea, again coming here back here, how do you feel about yourself? Don't think about how you feel about the other person. Okay. Like maybe there are so many girls who want to marry IITians, I don't know, for whatever reasons, and they want to marry the most handsome guy who's earning a lot. They do not look at themselves. They don't see that they are not earning a lot, or they are not highly educated or anything of that sort, but they want a guy like that for their future lifetime husband. But please understand that, one such guy, if he comes to your life, you may not be able to match the vibes with that guy. And the same goes for guys. Oh my God, I don't understand how guys look at girls. Like the same thing. You don't deserve the girl, yet you're after the girl. Why? So that you can make her your housewife. Okay. So it's something like, I've heard like so many people like really appreciate me for, oh, you speak so well, you sing so well. But ultimately they have wives whom they have put back into the kitchen. So do you like this, do you appreciate this quality of a woman in speaking, so that once you have that woman as a wife, you can just shut her up? Right? So this is a karmic connection, You appreciate something, but you're not able to match the vibe. And ultimately what happens in the karmics is that one person always ends up taking advantage of the other, or you have the sense of inferiority complex that you develop. Okay? So you always feel hurt. But how to identify the karmics in the beginning? Let me tell you. So this point can really help you. You will feel highly attracted. The next step is you'll have the disappointment coming very soon. Now, disappointment will happen in every connection. Okay, whether it's karmic or soulmates or twin flames. And twin flames is filled with disappointments. Twin flame is a journey of disappointment only. So with karmics, what happens is that there will be disappointment, yet there will be attachment. Yet you will not want to let go. Why? Because the karma has not been balanced. There are many women who have come for past life regression, and they have found out their husbands were their wives in the previous lifetimes. So these women are suffering because they had made their husbands suffer when the husbands were wives. Okay, so in both the cases, men were the one who got the women to suffer. And that is why I'm speaking so much against men only, right? And I've seen myself as a man in past lifetimes, and I was not a great man, least to say, right? So when disappointments happen between karmics, there is still attachment and you cannot let go. It takes a long time to let go of your karmic. When you talk about soulmates, disappointments get dissolved, because I told you in the beginning there is a high sense of not just love, but that emotion of respect between soulmates. Okay, and karmics and soulmates can be any relationship. It doesn't have to always be romantic, but twin flames are always going to be romantic. You cannot think of your twin flame as your child or your parent or something of that sort. It may have begun like that, though, that this person is respectful, but eventually there is romance, like romance in the sense that feeling of that attraction. And so disappointment is not taken care of in karmics. It goes on and on and on. In soulmates, it gets dissolved very easily. When it comes to twin flames, in the bubble phase, in the beginning, these disappointments, they do get dissolved in the sense that both of them are trying their best to work out through it, but the connection is such that it's not supposed to be working out like that. What is a way of understanding twin flames? Just think about Ardhanarishwar. If you don't know Ardhanarishwar, you must go and search Ardhanarishwar, Shiva and Shakti. So Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati, they are the same soul. Okay, Shiv is Shav without Shakti. So Shav, that is dead body. If Shakti is not with Shiv, he is a dead body. In fact, after Ma Parvati had incarnated as Ma Sati, uh, when Ma Sati dies, okay, Shiv, like Lord Shiva, if you have ever seen Devokidev Mahadev, even if you don't want to go to read the texts, you can go and watch Devokidev Mahadev. It's a very, very beautiful story. The most beautiful love story that can ever happen, in this world, is the story between Lord Shiva and Ma Parvati. And when she dies, he totally forgets about his godhood. He forgets that he's a god, and he's like roaming around just like any person who has lost his love. Okay, but so this connection, however, twin flame connection is supposed to be taking you through the spiritual awakening, and the twin flames cannot reunite permanently unless the spiritual upheaval happens. So it's a lot about spirituality. If you've met with your twin flame, if you doubt you've met with your twin flame, you can connect with me separately, because there's a lot about twin flames. Coming to relationship, so I have already said that it can be any, karmic can be any, soulmate can be any, but twin flames are also always romantic couples, okay? Even though they do not land up as couples most of the times. What is the purpose of all these connections? The purpose of karmic is karma balancing. Now, if you understand after this podcast that this and this person in my life are karmics, okay, so what should you be doing? Like, movies will show you that you're being born again and again, and it justifies that you have to go and kill that person. Okay, in movies they'll show you like that, Om Shanti Om, and I don't know many other movies, but these movies are like only meant for entertainment. If at all you come to know that this is my karmic, and there's a big lifetime, like from past lifetimes I'm carrying karma for this person, you must decide for yourself, what do you want? Do you want peace or do you want revenge? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna, after the, whatever happened with Draupadi in the Dyut Sabha, everyone knows about it, right? The manhandling that took place and Cheer Haran and all those things that happened, she is not able to be at peace at all. Okay, she's always crying and shouting, and she has closed a door and she's not wanting to meet anyone. And then Lord Krishna comes into that scene. And she asks, what was my fault? Why did I suffer? And he says that it was not your fault, and he tells her other things. But then he tells her, do you really want them to suffer? Do you want them to reap what they have sown? Okay, so the hatred and the disrespect, the loathing, whatever they have done, the insult that they have done with you and your husbands, do you want that to be, do you want a revenge for that? She says, definitely, they must suffer. Then he says that if you really want them to suffer, then forgive them. And she says, this is just sounding the opposite. What are you saying? You asked me that, do I want revenge? And then you are saying that, forgive them. So he says that when you forgive, and this is for everyone to know, Okay, and this is something as a past life regression therapist and in my own life, as you know, while I was awakening spiritually, I realized that when you have understood that someone else has done wrong with you, you can either spend the leftover energy in giving them punishment or find peace for yourself and surrender that case to God. When you forgive that person, it's not so easy. Many people come to me for past life regression because they are not able to forgive some people. So when you forgive the other person, the case goes to God. First of all, you kind of become empty of, any nonsense. Okay, you have to convince yourself first. Okay, your mind should be actually at peace. It should not be like, just saying, ha ha, I've forgiven. You should actually be able to do that. Because when you actually are able to do that, then first of all, your mind is stress free. The second thing is that now that person will definitely be taken, the revenge will definitely be taken on that person, because now it's God's duty to do it. So do you think you are going to be faster or God is going to be faster? Obviously, God is going to be faster. So they will be given the punishment. Okay, that's one thing. The second thing about the same, the purpose of karma balancing is, why to waste your energy? Why can't you put your energy to good things and find out the purpose of your life? Why are you existing here? What did you come to do here? What are the good qualities that you're carrying? Why can't you work on those lines and help others? And what are your bad qualities? Why don't you get rid of them? So isn't it better to put your energy into the positive direction than into wreaking, vengeance or like taking revenge from another person? That's a very, very big point you got to understand when you understand karmics. So there's something like a cord cutting, ceremony also, and those things we do in the spiritual world. So you try to stay away from them. But let me also guide you and guard you at this point of time. Like, when I understood all these concepts and I understood my biggest karmic, and it was not so easy to, detach. It took around 1 year, 2 years, and which would have been otherwise 10, 20 years, came down to 2 years. And it finally happened, and I finally could flush out that negativity from my system. So, yes, the purpose is to balance your karma, because I have also done something bad in my past lives which I have to repay. Everyone has done. Everyone. Yes. So that is the purpose of the karmic connection. What is the purpose of soulmates? Purpose of soulmates, why they come to your life is, um, there are many vows and promises that you've made in the past lifetimes. Okay, that one of the most beautiful books is Only Love is Real by Dr. Brian Weiss. So there, these people who are about to reunite, the soulmates who are about to reunite, they had been into multiple connections in the past lives, like son, daughter, like father and daughter, mother and son, number of connections, and mostly, but they were husband and wife only. But in a certain lifetime where the man was, this soul was the father, he was about to die because of an accident, and while dying he says, you know what, I'll always love you and I'll always be with you. These kind of things, they are like promises which cannot be broken. Consequently, the soul has to come back and reunite. Okay, it may look very beautiful, but there are many contracts which we have made. This one is a beautiful contract. There are many contracts which we have made with unnecessary people also. Like, oh, you don't understand this, I'm going to ensure that you understand this. Like, let's imagine a man tells his wife that in a certain lifetime, you don't know that you're a woman and you don't know how to behave. The next lifetime, he again meets the same woman. But this time the woman is not a woman, the woman is the man. And you are the woman. So what kind of, contracts are you carrying like that? So the purpose of soulmates is to reunite because out of love, because they have made promises. The purpose of twin flames is to be able to reunite, work together, and go back to God. Okay, so you'll always see that, there's a high level of disruption that happens when the twin flames come into each other's life. Even though in the beginning like, when twin flames are together, people around will always know. Like, they will not know they're twin flames. But whoever has seen twin flames together, any two twin flames together, they will always know that there is some special bonding between these two people. Okay. And there is a high level of disruption that happens in both the lives. especially the life of the divine feminine, because the feminine has to do the spiritual duties related to the connection. Okay, the masculine has to do a lot with the karma part. Okay, so the purpose of twin flames is actually to reunite after, like Ma Parvati had to take 108 births to be able to reunite with Lord Shiva. So the main story of Ma Parvati and Shiva is that they were obviously one in the beginning. Shakti was a part of Shiva, like Shiva and Shakti were same. And then the universe had to be made, and Lord Brahma asked for Ma Shakti, okay, because he needed to make, nature. Prakriti is Ma only, okay. If you're harming Prakriti, you are harming Ma, okay. So he took her in form of Shakti, and then he said that I will return her to you in another way. So a lot of Shakti was utilized in making the nature in Prakriti and whatever. And every aspect of Mother Earth is aspect of Ma Parvati. Okay. And so what happened after that was, when she was brought back as a human, in a human incarnation. And she had to like work for all the divine qualities inside her. So she had to fight all the worldly qualities which were within her to be able to reach back the divine. That is exactly the duty of the feminine. Okay, to be able to, shun all the negativities of the world. So she's like the root, and masculine is like the shoot, like, the tree that you can see. And everyone looks at the tree and thinks, oh, this is so strong, but they don't look at the root, and they don't know how much work the root is doing. So the same goes for the feminine. The feminine is the root and masculine is the shoot. So the purpose is awakening and ascension, obviously. What is the effect that, the final point I would talk about is the effect of having a karmic in your life is devastating, obviously, because it's like trying to bring you in terms with what you've done in your past. Okay, so you will be on low energy. Okay, let me tell you once, and most of the marriages, unfortunately, are karmic marriages. Okay, whether they are surviving, not surviving, most of the marriages are karmic marriages. There's high level of not just devastation, restlessness, I would say, a lot of disrespect between the couples, and a lot of fights, abuse, and so you'll be on low energy. Okay, when you are with a karmic, there'll be lack of everything. Whether you talk about money, maybe you are well on your, like you have a good foundation on money, but your mental peace will not be there. You may be like, you can look at your health, and then you will see that, you're not doing good health wise. You've become obese, you've become fat. The day you started connecting with your karmic more, you accepted your karmic as a part of your life, from that day onwards, your devastation starts. So I already told you that what should you do? It's not like just shun them away. Forgive them. Forgive them. And I'm sure that the karmic may not understand that you're trying to forgive them and you're trying to make a good base for both of you. And there will always be one of the, even if you're an awakened person, and even for a twin flame who's a twin flame, and that person also has karmics. So even when the divine feminine understands that this is my karmic, it's not an easy way to get away from karmics. Okay, so it will take some time. It appears sometimes that karmics are like leeches, you can't get rid of them so easily, but you must consistently try not to hate them. Obviously, not to hate them is like kind of difficult. So maybe you can take a past life regression and see what you have done in the past, which is bringing you this, or like surrender to God and say that, I want to get rid of this situation, and don't be violent from your side. So try to get all the peaceful methods there. With the soulmate, what is the effect? There is stability and encouragement. And I have a lot of soulmates, like within my friends, my family, in fact, my students also. And those kind of students who will respect you always, who will come back to you, ask you questions, and, so you have had past lives with them, a very good past life with them. So stability, encouragement, respect, that sense of fulfillment you have with your soulmate. But what is the effect of having your twin flame in your life? Twin flame will, first of all, as I already said, there'll be a huge level of disruption. What you're doing right now, you'll realize, oh my God, this is not right. The person I am with is not right. The job I am in is not right. I was not supposed to be doing this. I was supposed to be doing that. All those kind of things will happen. Your change of place, change of job, everything will happen when your twin flame comes. And eventually what will happen is that Now, at this point of time, you have to be a leader. If you are a twin flame, you've got to be a leader. If you're not, then you're going to suffer very badly. So, you got to take lead in spirituality. You got to get into meditations. And when you do all those healings, inner work, and everything, because of the twin flame, you'll come up to a situation where you are quite peaceful. In the worst of situations in your life, you'll be able to be quite peaceful. Whether the twin flame comes back or not, you are still fine. So you will be looked up at, from other people's perspective as a wise person who's like very peaceful, very sensible, filled with knowledge and wisdom and everything. And believe me, once you've met your twin flame and if you've done your inner work, you will see yourself as you've never seen before. You'll stop being arrogant and proud and you'll start doing a lot of things. You'll start helping other people. So that is the purpose. So that is the effect that a twin flame can bring about in you. And something more about twin flames and soulmates, something which is similar in these two, is that there can be something like telepathy and intuition. Okay, telepathy and intuition develops obviously between soulmates, it's to a certain level. Within the twin flames, it can be to such an extent which is absolutely impossible for normal people to understand. Okay, so when my twin flame is absolutely very sad, I know that he's very sad. That level of an understanding. Let's say one twin flame is not well, like physically not well. And if you telepathically invite your twin flame can, the higher self of your twin flame, obviously you cannot invite your twin flame in person. So the higher self of your twin flame, the soul has two entities, masculine and feminine, like in incarnations, obviously. And these two entities, they have their higher self. So like my higher self is 1,000 times more powerful than me. So my higher self, if I connect to my higher self, it will be able to tell me what is about to come. It can show me angel numbers, like repeated numbers, and guard me not to take this step or to take this step, things like that. So when I was talking about this physical ailment, you can also call your twin flame's higher self to heal you. Okay, and the healing actually happens very fast. So the twin flames are actually divine. It's a divine connection. And twin flame does not abide by the worldly rules. Like the worldly rules are, like, you just think about who made these rules, that your partner should be 2 years older, 2 years younger, or your partner should be from the same community or from the opposite gender, or whatever. These rules are human rules, human made rules, but twin flames do not follow these rules. Consequently, twin flames also do not always get married, or twin flames always do not reunite. When you talk about marriage, marriage is a reunion or a union of a human with another human. But when we're talking about twin flames, we're talking about soul reuniting with its own essence. Consequently, twin flames may not ever get married. In fact, they may not ever come back to each other and yet be happy. Because for a twin flame, especially for a divine feminine, it's possible to reconnect with the masculine any day she wants. Telepathically. Obviously, till the time you are in the body, you obviously will always urge the physical presence of the other person. But twin flame can be up to that extent. And as I already said, that if you think that you are in a twin flame connection, you can connect with me, and there are no charges and there are no courses I'm offering, sorry. But I can definitely guide you on how to find peace on the twin flame journey, because it can be a real soul shock once a separation begins. It can be very, very dismantling, devastating, and you feel like it's better to die. So if you are in that situation, then please do seek help from me at least, okay? And that's it for today. I think I've been able to give you the easiest and quickest methods of understanding and identifying your karmic, your soulmate, and your twin flame. It takes much longer to identify your twin flame. Sometimes it may take you 1 year or 2 years, and you're not even introduced to the term twin flame. Soulmate, you can identify, I think it takes 1 or 2 months. Karmics, you will be able to identify between 15 to 20 days, but you should have that eye and wisdom to see that disappointments are happening and yet I'm attached. Okay, there's a sense of knowing that I'm not feeling good about myself, but yet I'm there. Okay, because you're balancing the karma. That's it for today. Signing off, Arunima Sinha. Namaste. Thank you so much.